She used to get visited by people at night that died in the mills.
There is a shadow figure standing right next to where the pictures are on the wall that we had just been at.
About 10 minutes ago, right when we crossed the bridge, I saw something.
And as I walk into the hallway, I feel like I see a little girl out of the right corner of my eye.
Dude, I see this fucking man quick 1-2, like blink my eyes for 3 seconds and he's fucking gone, dude.
The inn is haunted by 3 ghosts. He says there's the general, there's a little girl.
All of a sudden, I just get this weirdest feeling. Did it just get really cold all of a sudden? It's like, kinda. Within a minute of saying that, we see 2 blonde-haired, blue-eyed children.
I hear him come up the stairs, but I don't see the light. I didn't hear anything. Figured he went back down to get it. And about 5 minutes later, he comes up the stairs and he's got the light in hand. And I'm like, what'd you do? You forget the light downstairs the first time? And he's like, what do you mean? I was like, I heard you come up the stairs. I didn't see a light. He's like, dude, that wasn't me.
There's a weird feeling about it. We turn, we look. These kids are fucking gone, dude.
All right. Welcome back to another episode of Tales, Trails, and Taverns. I'm your host, Joe. Rob is with me.
What's up?
What's going on, man? So, I want to start. I saw something in the news the other day about the Little Lizzie's coffee shop. The owner of the coffee shop is getting evicted from the building. Did you hear about that?
In Fall River?
Yeah.
Oh, no, that's terrible.
The Little Lizzie coffee shop, the one that's right next to the Lizzie Borden house.
Why are they getting... Did they not pay the bill?
I don't know what it is. Apparently they were served an eviction notice back in January, and they haven't vacated yet. They're still running the coffee company. So I don't know if the owner of the building is trying to get them out for some reason, you know. I don't know what it is. They've faced legal action before from the Lizzie Borden house, you know, the U.S. Ghost Adventures company that owns the Lizzie Borden house.
Yeah.
They took them to court over the name, essentially. You know, rights to Lizzie Borden's name. I don't know how you can own rights to somebody who's been dead for 100 years, but...
Yeah, and it's not like they're, like, biologically related. It's the U.S.
Right.
fucking...
It's not the Borden family. It's it's the company that owns the Lizzie Borden house.
Oh, Jesus Christ, man. That place makes so much fucking money. It's like... So what if somebody wants to make a couple dollars off the name? Like,
right?
You don't own the legend of Lizzie Borden. Lizzie Borden fucking made that legend. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah. What I'm thinking is that, like, maybe the people who own the house next door, the one where the Lizzie's coffee shop is, because that was also a Borden house.
And and there was also a horrific murder in that house, too.
There was 2 kids who died in the basement who were murdered in the basement, yeah.
Yeah, so, like, I remember doing the ghost tour, like 2 years ago, and the guy went on a tangent about how the building next door is super haunted, too.
Yeah, so the only thing that I can think of is maybe the people who own that building are trying to sell that to U.S. Ghost Adventures as well, and that's why they want the business out of there. I don't know. That's the only thing that would make sense to me, because it's not like they're still making money there. They're still running the business. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's not that I don't think it's that they haven't paid their bill or they haven't paid their rent or their lease or whatever. I think it's that the owner of the building just wants them out for whatever reason. So.
You know what's weird, and this is totally off topic, but I'm going to mention it. There's a really good hot dog stand in Somerset.
Yeah.
Or a hot dog parlor. They've closed at least 5 or 6 times. I want to say they've been in business for like 15 years.
Yeah.
Like 2010s. They've closed down about 5 or 6 times because of taxes.
Huh.
Yeah, they've had to like close for like a month or 2, and then they get like their taxes situated and they like reopen again. It's a a wacky little trend. It's literally, they've literally been through it like 5 or 6 times. I'm not even joking.
I wonder if they're laundering money through it and then they're just getting everything straightened away.
I have no idea, dude, but they make amazing hot dogs and they got great smash burgers, but they don't, I guess they don't like paying their taxes.
That's too funny. Yeah, I know.
Like people literally drive up there. There's things on Somerset, on our town of Somerset.
Yeah,
and they're like, hey, I'm not gonna say the place's name, but it's like, hey, why is Jacob's Hot Dogs closed? It's like, oh, taxes. Like everybody in the town knows it. You know what I mean?
That's funny. There's always a good little hot dog stand in town somewhere. That's like a staple, man. There used to be this trailer right on the side of Route 6 on the way to on your way to Truro on the Cape. That sold. Mm-hmm. It was just a little 2-axle trailer. They made the most amazing hot dogs out of that place. I remember stopping there when I was young. Like I was driving trucks on the Cape, and I would go up and down the Cape. Every time I went to Truro or Provincetown, I would stop at that place and get hot dogs, man.
Nothing hits the spot in the summertime like some good hot dogs.
Like a good little rinky-dink shack hot dogs, like trailer made, or like little beachside hot dogs. You know what I mean?
Do you get them with the works?
Little butter bun. Whatever it is, man.
How do you get them with the works?
I don't know. It all depends.
Because
they're always different. No matter where you go, they're always different. It's not like everywhere is. There's that one in Providence, the Olneyville, the New York style, or the New York, whatever the hell it is.
Is that the one that's in the trailer and it's open till like 3 a.m?
That's the New York system in Olneyville.
No. This one's in Providence, dude.
Yeah, Olneyville is in Providence.
They're open till like 3 a.m,
It's right? Probably that one. You get them all the way.
I'm pretty sure, because I remember one night during the Marine Corps ball when we rented the party bus, and were you on that party bus?
One of the years, I don't know.
Dude, it's so hard to remember Marine Corps balls.
Dude, whatever party bus I was on, I don't remember being at the ball. I got so drunk so fast.
Oh my God. But I remember everybody being fucking passed out, and the only people that were still up was me, LaPointe, and Baker. And we made the fucking party bus guy stop at the hot dog stand at like 2 a.m. And we got hot dogs.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it was pretty epic. We were all the way in the back of the party bus, like stepping over people. We were just fucking passed out.
That's hilarious, man.
Yep.
All right. Enough of that. We'll get into the episode, and I understand you've got cursed movies for us.
Yes, I do.
Sounds good. We'll get into it. In the dark forest lies a secret, told in broken stories by those who have bore witness. A monster, a murder, a long-forgotten ghost town. We're here to walk the haunted paths, to seek out the restless spirits who linger in these forsaken places, and we want you to come along. Welcome to Tales, Trails, and Taverns. We're here to take an active approach to finding places that people might warn you not to go to. Haunted trails, abandoned towns, old taverns where you might catch a glimpse of a long-deceased patron. So lace up your boots, grab a working flashlight, and join us as we tell the tales, hike the trails, and grab a cold pint at the local tavern.
All right, folks. Seeing how in lieu of, Friday the 13th coming up, of course, when you listen to this episode, it'll be beyond Friday the 13th already. But
it's all right.
Anyways, we're coming up upon Friday the 13th. And I came up with an interesting idea and concept, and Joe thought it was cool, so I'm going to run with it. Tonight on our podcast, seeing how also, too, we've been talking a lot about movies lately, Joe.
I mean, we've been doing a lot of shit with movies. Like,
Rocco's finally got his money to make his movie.
Yep.
What's the guy? Kevin from Where the Weird Ones, his movie's starting to come into fruition, right?
Yep.
So it seems like everybody's making movies now. I made a movie this past summer. So why not talk about cursed movies, right?
Exactly.
Fun fact. So when I Googled the most cursed movies of all time,
yeah,
the first three, which is the first one I'm going to talk about, the Omen. Second one is the Exorcist, and the third one is Rosemary's Baby.
Yeah.
Oddly enough, Joe, these were all filmed within like an 8-year time span.
That's pretty close to each other, huh?
Yeah, the Omen came out in 76. The Exorcist came out in 71.
Yeah.
And Rosemary's Baby came out in 1968.
Huh.
It's kind of odd, huh?
Yeah. That's interesting.
I don't know what that says about the times, and it's so weird because like I watched The Omen, I watched The Exorcist. I got like halfway through Rosemary's Baby, but dude, it's so weird watching these movies from like the early 70s, Joe. Like these people who are in their 30s literally look like they're in their 50s.
Really?
And like, have you ever noticed that about old movies?
I have noticed that. I noticed that when I watched the Blob from 1958, and it was like, dudes were supposed to be teenagers, and they looked like they were 30.
Yeah, man. It's like I watch these movies, and it's like literally like people in their 30s look like they're in their 50s, and like people in their 50s look like they're fucking 80, dude.
Yeah.
It's like crazy. Like how much older people used to look.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting. And that tracks with other things too, because if you look back at like the sitcoms and stuff that I used to watch like when I was a teenager, those people look like they were super old. They're all younger than I am now. You know what I mean? Back then, they were all like late 30s, early 40s, and they all look like they were, God, compared to people nowadays, they look like they were in their 50s or 60s. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, Seinfeld, was in his 30s when he was doing that show, and you'll watch that show, and he looks like he's like early 50s. Oh,
yeah. They look like they're, past midlife.
Like, even Friends, I don't think that anybody on that cast was over 30, but they look like they're in their late 30s.
Yeah, they're all supposed to be in their 20s, right?
Yeah. Well, they were in their 20s, is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, cursed movies. Fucking, let's get into it. The first one is The Omen. I'm going to start with that.
Yep.
Okay. All right. Pop quiz. So this article is from Collider.
Okay.
Pop quiz. What do The Exorcist, The Poltergeist, The Crow, Rosemary's Baby, and Iron Maiden's The Number of the Beast all have in common? All allegedly had inexplicable phenomenon and strange circumstances plague their cursed production. While some argue that most of the events were just circumstantial, nothing more, the nature and the frequency make it pretty hard to shake. This brings us to The Omen, one of the more popular in a, what is SPATE? Spate?
Yeah.
All right. Spotty films where the devil was getting his due. The plot of the film is relatively straightforward. A baby boy taken in by a diplomat and his wife turns out to be the Antichrist. and all manner of death and misfortune surround him. But that's Hollywood, right? Yes, but the sheer number and uniqueness of events that happened behind the scenes of the devilish flick would make the most skeptical of believers order a crucifix off Amazon at their earliest convenience. And now, with the prequel, The First Omen, opening this weekend, a film that explores the birth of Damien and one that looks to be worthy of the successor. Focus shifts back to its 1976 original and its cursed history. Yet dear reader, need to be convinced that the curse began with the beginning. All right. Well, we've warned you. All right. So here we go. What happened on the set of The Omen? The Omen curse began in September of 1975. Lead actor Gregory Peck was flying to London, and during the flight, the plane was struck by lightning. Oddly, yeah, yes, but not unheard of. Shortly after, executive producer Nance Newsfield plane was also struck by lightning en route to LA for the movie.
Jesus, two planes struck by lightning.
Yeah, crazy. Yeah. That's twice in a span of a few weeks. Then writer David Seltzer's plane was also struck by lightning.
Okay. Jesus.
And while filming in Rome, lightning narrowly missed striking producer Harvey Bernard. Lightning may never strike twice, but 4 times to different people whose 6 degrees of separation at the time. The Omen, right? Yeah. That's eerie, but there's more. Speaking of planes, the aforementioned lightning strikes was only the first related tragedy connected to the Omen's filming. The planned filming of the action scene for the Omen was delayed, which happens, no big deal, right? This meant that Peck was not needed on set. So a private jet that the crew was going on to charter to bring Peck was not necessary. The next day, news arrived, must have sent chills down the spine of the entire cast and crew. According previously cited CBS News article, the plane that they had intended to book a flight hit a flock of birds and crashed, killing everyone on board.
Jesus.
Yes. Dude, this article gets wacky.
Yeah.
While that was tragic enough, the plane struck a car along the road as it came crashing down, killing everyone in the car as well. The people in the car, the wife, the 2 children, the 2 children of the plane's pilot. So not only did it strike a car, but the pilot of the plane...
It struck his family's car?
His family's car.
Jesus Christ.
The Omen producer and director narrowly avoided bombings. At the time of filming, London was under a rash explosion set by the IRA. So sadly, it wasn't uncommon. What was uncommon was 2 incidents that, again, struck people associated with the film. Mace Newman, probably already on the edge after his plane being struck by lightning, was planning to eat at a restaurant nearby. But apparently no seats were available after a bomb gutted it.
Jesus.
The day after filming, the hotel that director Richard Donner had been staying at was also bombed. Still unconvinced. On set, animal accidents also occurred during the Omen's production. What if we told you that puppies, monkeys, and a kitty got drawn into the curse as well? No, cute little animals couldn't possibly be involved. Now, what if we told you the truth and it was Rottweilers, baboons, and a lion? So, have you seen The Omen?
It's been a while.
Remember the overly protective Rottweiler?
Okay, yeah.
Okay. Rottweilers that were used to portray the hellbound hounds would often turn and attack their trainers and seriously injured stuntman Terry Walsh despite his preparations. A scene in the movie where Kathy Torn, Lee Remick, and Damien, Harvey Spencer Stevens, drove through a safari park and are attacked by baboons made horrifically vivid by Remrick's terrified reaction. Great acting? Nope. Although she's excellent in the film, the baboons were so vicious, her reactions in the film are genuine. The day after the filming of the scene saw the death of a zookeeper in the jaws of a lion. Some sources say tiger, but splitting hairs on that one is a tough one. So a zookeeper actually got killed the next day by a lion.
Yeah. Holy shit.
Liz Moore's tragic death mirrors part of the Omen plot. The most tragic event tied to the Omen curse, however, would befall Liz Moore, assistant to John Richardson, who was the special effects designer for the film. The pair were driving through the Netherlands, and along the way, they were involved in a horrific car accident, as cited by the Lettenbridge News. Richardson escaped with minor injury, but Moore was decapitated by a tire that slashed into the car. The fact is sickening enough, but there's a ghastly parallel to the movie itself. In the scene, a photographer who was helping Robert Thorne, Gregory Peck, research Damien's origins, Keith Jennings, David Warner, is killed when he is decapitated by a sheet of glass that falls off a construction vehicle while driving. And if that wasn't creepy enough, the accident that occurred happened on August 13th, 1976, a Friday, right?
Yeah.
And right by where the accident happened, there was a roadside indicating that they were 66.6 kilometers away from the town of Omen. Omen.
Jesus Christ.
So the car accident where the person got fucking decapitated, there was a fucking sign where they were 66.6 kilometers away from a town called Omen.
Wow.
Accidents still plague the Omen. Additional incidents in the 21st century would suggest that the Curse of the Omen still had some bite. So when they made the reboot in 2006. In 2005, while filming a documentary about the curse, producer Alan Tyler confessed that 2 different camera crews in 2 different locations had the same exact technical difficulties with footage they filmed, according to the Herald. And in 2006, the remake of the film experienced 2 separate incidents. The first before on actor Peter Postlethway's brother, who died unexpectedly after allegedly being dealt 3 sixes in a game of poker. The second incident saw footage of the scene where actor Levi Chabelle finds the devil's birthmark on Damien Seamus Davy Fitzpatrick, at 13,500 feet of film, becoming inexplicably destroyed while being processed. And what about the prequel, The First Omen? It too had its share of unexplained phenomenon. One story comes from the director who was feeling off one day while filming a scene in a pizzeria, only to learn that one of the producers of the crew found the circumference of a pizzeria to be 666 granted. The crew member could have seized an opportunity to mess with the director's head, so take it what you will, but another incident is a little harder to wave off. During an interview with the previously cited Yahoo TV, Yahoo Movies UK, Nell Tiger Free, the servant actress who played the lead role of Margaret in the film, recounted a creepy incident. I was staring at Ralph's necklace one day, Ralph Nielsen, who plays Father Brennan, and he had a crucifix on it. And we just done the possession scene, so it was, tensions were high. And I was just sort of like locked in a gaze at his neck and the crucifix on it. And I promise you, it just snapped in half. The crucifix fell to the ground off of his neck.
Shit.
And then it says, so yeah, the crucifix and the chain just broke right off his neck and fell to the ground.
Yeah.
Which is kind of creepy.
Wow.
More disturbing is her assertion in the same interview that there are more stories like this. All right. There you have it. A wellspring of incidents that speak to your need for compelling evidence. And even if one were to conservatively say that 50% of these incidents are explainable coincidences, then that still leaves a large number of very eerie, very spooky, and in some cases, deeply tragic events with the Omen at the center of it all. Thankfully, the curse of the Omen doesn't seem to extend to people who write about it, so yours truly looks to be around these parts for a long time. And that's the end of that article. But yeah, some wacky shit happened on the Omen too. Another thing that I want to say that they didn't add this in here.
Yeah.
Was that the lead character? I'm gonna go back and find him right now. The guy who played the embassy guy, Gregory Peck. His brother committed suicide while filming the movie.
Oh shit.
On June 6th.
Oh, wow.
Now, you say, okay, June 6th, what the hell does that have to do? If you remember the movie, right? So while he was filming the movie, his brother committed suicide on June 6th.
Yeah.
June 6th, 6 a.m. was the date and the time of Damien's birthday.
Oh,
so the 6th month, the 6th day, the 6th hour.
Yeah.
And Gregory Peck's brother just randomly committed suicide on June 6th.
Holy shit.
While filming the movie.
That's
that crazy. Was something they left out in this article.
Yeah. Wow.
So that's the Omen. Let's move on to the Exorcist, which, by the way, when's the last time you watched that fucking movie?
Which one? The Exorcist?
Yeah.
It's been a long time too.
Dude, that movie's still fucking, all these years later, it's fucking insane. All right, let's get into it. The story of the Exorcist curse set is way scarier than the movie. Did a demonic curse cause these uncanny events, or was the Exorcist just dangerously unlucky? Fear is a subjective experience, but every now and then, an artist creates something that universally shocks and horrifies the audience. One of the best examples of this is The Exorcist, which terrified viewers when it debuted in, I got it wrong, I thought it was 71, but it was 1973. And it remains a horror classic today. The American Film Institute names it as the third most chilling film ever made in the 20th century. If you haven't seen it, The Exorcist follows the ordeals of Regan McNeil, a 12-year-old girl possessed by a demon, Pazaru. When she becomes increasingly vulgar, self-mutilating, and violent, two priests are called to perform an exorcism. One priest, Father Damien Carraris, struggles with his relationship with God, but ultimately convinces the demon to leave Reagan and take him himself before he leaps out of the window in a leap of faith to take the demon and kill himself and save Reagan. You remember that part, right?
Yeah.
Between the plot line, performances, and special effects, it is a deeply disturbing movie. But like other horror classics like The Omen and Halloween, the behind-the-scenes story is far more frightening. From before it was even released, there had been rumors that The Exorcist was cursed, and the full details behind the curse are enough to make your blood run cold. The Exorcist real-world inspiration. While many people are aware that The Exorcist was based on Peter Blattley's 1973 novel, the inspiration behind its conception is far more obscure, despite potentially providing evidence that the source material was inherently corrupt. In 1949, a young boy known publicly as Roland Doe was apparently possessed and underwent dozens of exorcisms attempts before finally being freed. Blattley had seen a Washington Post article on the subject while he was in college, and he decided it was worthy material for a novel. While he changed the main character's gender, many of the story's key plot points are directly based on the events from 1949. In addition, the film's director gathered diary entries and eyewitness accounts of Doe's possession to better represent the event. According to the original article, an expert in the supernatural said that Roland Doe's possession manifested the most impressive poltergeist activity he had ever seen in his life. For those who believe in demons and spiritual hostility, there is always the chance that the demon cast out of Roland Doe found its way to Blattley, finding new life and new victims through the novel and the movie. In that vein, evil angelicus Billy Graham destroyed the book and refused to watch the film, announcing that to do so would be opening myself to satanic forces. You know the famous pastor, Billy Graham, right?
Yeah.
Okay. I just wanted to make sure. Maybe some people don't know that. Trouble on set. Many of the problems that earned The Exorcist its curse title began during the filming production. According to director William Frederick, in his discussions with Castle of Frankenstein magazine, it took nearly 100 days longer to film than expected, and consequently cost $2 million over budget. This delay was caused by numerous eerie events that some suggest were driven by demonic forces conspiring to keep the film from being completed. Some of these incidents, while inconvenient, were relatively mild. The statue of the demon, which was supposed to arrive in Iraq for the filming opening scene, instead wound up in Denmark. The McNeil House set burned down, delaying the film by 6 weeks. And then the sprinkler system broke down, delaying a further 2 weeks. Later on, industrial air conditioning units caused it to snow on set. Other supported signs of the curse were more troubling. While filming in Iraq, half of the crew had to stop working because of dysentery and sun and heat stroke. They might have been the lucky ones because others developed lifelong injuries. One crew member reportedly lost a toe, while another lost their thumb. Both Linda Blair, who played Rachel McNeil, and Ellen Bursby, Chris McNeil, acquired permanent back conditions due to the extreme stunts that Frederick demanded. Adding insult to injury, Frederick used the takes where both were harmed in the final cut, since the cries and pains and the desperation were so realistic on film. So, like, you remember the scene where she's flopping back and forth, like, violently?
Yeah. Yeah, I remember hearing something about that. She was hurt.
Linda Blair ended up with, like, permanent, like, spinal damage from that scene.
Yeah, because they were pulling the rope so hard.
Yes. So, some crazy shit.
Oh, yeah.
In addition to many delays and injuries, Mercedes McCambridge, the voice of the demon, sacrificed her hard-won sobriety to produce ideal sound effects. She would drink raw eggs, chain smoke, and drink massive amounts of alcohol to get the right guttural, this is a $5 word that I'm going to fuck up. Multi-traminal traumatic sound. Okay.
Yeah.
But after completing a take, she would often have emotional breakdowns, taking comfort in a priest she demanded to be on set for support. Misfortune stalked the cast and crew beyond the set. While it might have been reasonable to see these incidents as a sign that something didn't want a movie to be made, the most chilling events happened off set. The 1998 documentary, The Fear of God, 25 Years of the Exorcist, claimed that there were 9 deaths connected to the production. In addition to the actors Jack McGowan and Valesico Malario, who died shortly after the film. That guy, Valesico Malario, is the guy who played the director in the movie.
Yeah.
Who they ended up, remember, he ended up having a fall and like his head spun all the way around.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he died of like the flu like 3 months after the fucking movie was done.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah, wacky shit.
Yeah,
who died shortly after filming. Bruston noted the deaths of several crew members and their families. Production was also delayed due to the deaths in the families of Max von Schaden, Father Marin, and Blair. Some believe that the 2 deaths haunted the film, as Frederin and Blatley's mother had died just a few years before production began. While they were not directly connected to the film, the Yale Review claims that Blatley was attempting to contact his mother's spirit during filming, which in the same paranormal fixation supposedly caused Roland Doe's initial possession. In addition to the deaths, there were a concerning number of murders connected to the film. In 1977, a radiographer named Paul Bateman, who had a small part in the role, killed entertainment journalist Addison Verrill. He was also a key suspect in a serial of murders of 6 other men between 1975 and 1977. 10 years later, Mercedes McCambridge's son killed himself and his family in a murder-suicide after his illegal financial practice came to light. Less deadly, but no less chilling, Jason Miller, Father Caracas, was reportedly contacted by a priest who gave him a medallion and told him, "Reveal the devil for the tricksters that he will seek retribution against you, or even will try to stop what you are trying to do to unmask him." So the guy who played the priest there, the one that jumped out the window, his 5-year-old son was later struck by a motorcycle and put in critical condition for weeks during filming of the movie.
Jesus.
These are many coincidences, but the number of tragedies was staggering. While an extended production time would increase the likelihood of any of these crises, they were far more connected to the movie than what was in common. The curse became a popular phenomenon. The idea that the movie itself was somewhat cursed spread before the film was ever even finished. To calm the cast and crew's fears, Frederick asked Father Thompson Benning, a Judas priest who consulted on the film, to perform an exorcism on the set.
So they actually did an exorcism?
They asked, the stand-in guy to perform an exorcism on the set.
Oh, wow.
Birmingham refused, claiming he didn't believe that there was anything demonic afoot, but he did agree to bless the set and everyone that was working on it. While he claimed that nothing else happened on the set afterward, there was an eerily timed fire at the Judith residence in Georgetown at the same time. Furthermore, hysteria about the supposedly cursed exploit film released. The New York Times reported that audience members were physically impacted watching the movie, from vomiting at certain scenes to reports of heart attacks and miscarriages. I do remember hearing that. My father talked a lot about because this is my dad's era.
Yeah.
I'm going to get a little off topic for 2 minutes here. But my dad said that, when this movie came out, people freaked the fuck out. They had never seen anything like this show.
Yeah.
In 1973, people, it had the same effect of Terrifier, but times 10.
Right.
You know what I mean? People were puking in movie theaters and passing out and having heart attacks. Nobody had seen anything like this. It was definitely one of those movies that it caught a crazy buzz.
Yeah.
Theaters reported mysterious injuries and deaths of employees, and cities reported that they had spikes in mental health crises for those who had seen the film. One man broke his jaw after collapsing during viewing and tried to sue Warner Brothers for his injuries. While much of this craze seemed like a well-crafted publicity stunt, there were some more extreme examples. Its debut in Rome was supposedly interrupted by lightning striking, causing an accident, an ancient cross to crash through the theater. A 16-year-old British boy died the day after watching the film, but medical evidence suggests it was entirely unrelated. Nevertheless, it became an easy scapegoat, being blamed for the suicide of a 19-year-old girl in West Germany and the murder of a 9-year-old whose killer claimed there was something inside him ever since he saw the film The Exorcist.
Interesting.
Fun fact. What the fuck's his name? Jeffrey Dahmer was obsessed with The Exorcist. I didn't know if you knew that. Yes, he was.
No,
he watched it all the time. Not really a fun fact, but a creepy, weird fact.
Yeah, it is a creepy, weird fact.
So was The Exorcist really cursed? It's undeniable that a lot of eerie things happened during and around the production and the release of The Exorcist, but does that really mean that the movie was cursed? Maybe, maybe not. As Max von Sydow said in the Fear of God documentary, if you shoot something for a year, people are going to get hurt, people are going to die. Much of the quote, air quote, the quotations here, evidence can be explained by coincidence and the extended shoot schedule. Others can be explained by an abusive set and a clever marketing team. It was William Frederick's dedication to getting the perfect shot that injured Linda Blair and Ellen Binsworth, and several other injuries may have developed from certain similar circumstances. The publicity team likely hyped up the behind the scenes and certainly encouraged the idea that the film had an impact on the viewers unlike any other. While we cannot know for certain how the publicity team handled the idea, Frederick had spoken about the curse many times over the years. He rejected the idea of supernatural intervention in 1973, yet he openly spoke about how the set was plagued by strange and sinister things from the beginning. And that, after all I've seen in this film, I definitely believe in demonic possession. In an interview he said in 1974. He certainly seemed to understand the economic benefits of the film being cursed, whether he believed it himself or not. In the 52 years that have passed since the Exorcist debut, the horror landscape has changed drastically. While still an effective film, it is not nearly as shocking as it was in the 1970s and would likely not be as captivating as a concept to theorize about it in today's times. All the same, knowing the full background of what was happening on and off set adds something unnerving to the film. Whether it's a story of abuse or coincidence or a truly malevolent force at work, we may never know. And that's the end of that article.
Nice. Yeah, there's a lot of crazy shit to have happened on that set.
Oh, yeah. I mean, so would it be weird that the fucking director is making these rumors that it's cursed to sell tickets? I mean, that's possible.
It is possible, yeah.
But at the same time, a lot of weird fucked up shit happened, dude.
Right.
So to rule it out would be, you know what I mean? I don't know. How do you feel about it?
Seems like a lot of shit happened. I mean, yeah, maybe because it took such a long time and maybe the rumor mill that got started helped push it out, but it does seem like an awful lot of stuff.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know, man. That's why I don't. It's weird because remember we were talking about this about when we talked to Erica.
Yeah.
Like just weird. I feel like when you play with stuff like that, and we did a lot. I did a lot of like when I made the res, I did a lot of deep diving into like old Latin words and like, you know, demonic chanting and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Some really strange and weird unexplainable shit happened on the set of my fucking movie, bro.
Yeah. You told me about that. We were talking about that.
So it's kind of one of those, like, you play with fire.
Yeah.
You might get burnt a little.
Yeah. Interesting.
So I'm going to wrap it up with the final article here. How are we on time, Joe? I'm just going to try to blast through this one as fast as possible.
Go forward. A little over almost 50 minutes.
Okay.
Over 45.
This will take us home then.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. This article is from Vanity Fair, and it actually says the most cursed hit movie ever made.
Nice.
Rosemary's Baby was a hit novel that became an iconic film, only to bring woe to nearly everyone who made it. Great fucking movie, by the way. Like I said, I got halfway through it, but I watched this, I want to say, like 10 years ago.
Yeah.
And I watched it as a kid, of course, but it's such a fucking good movie, dude.
Yeah, I gotta rewatch it.
In 1967, Aya Levine was already, by most anyone's standards, a very, very successful writer. At 21, he sold 2 TV scripts to NBC. Soon after, a Broadway play garnered a Tony nod, and his first novel, in which a ruthless young man murders his pregnant lover, won the 1954 Edgar Award. But with every hit came a flop, and success always seemed to come with a cost, a theme rooted deeply in his best work of all time, especially in Rosemary's Baby. A hit novel turned iconic film, Rosemary's Baby was a massive success that, according to half a century of pop cultural lore, is also cursed. Did Levine's tale of lapsed Christian Rosemary, who unknowingly carries and births the devil in return for her actor husband's stage success, really jinx all those who got near? And if so, why did Levine himself stay so seemingly unscratched? Like all good scary stories, This one starts very ordinary. In 1965, struggling as always for his next big idea, Levine looked no further than his pregnant wife in their New York apartment. He plopped every would-be parent's feelings of anxiety atop of an intimate, fucking words, historical moment on June 1966, or 666, aka the number of the beast. So I guess his wife gave birth on June 1966.
Yeah.
So June, 666, aka the mark of the beast, as predicted in the New Testament book of Revelations. Religious counterculture was already swirling. The Church of Satan was soon to be established in San Francisco, and in April of 1966, Time magazine had famously asked its cover, "Is God dead?" There was a lot of that shit going on back in the late 60s. A lot of like the satanic shit and the fucking...
Yeah. That's pre-satanic panic, though, isn't it?
Yeah, but it's like building up to it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that makes sense.
Levine went even darker. What if he took the birth of Jesus and turned the whole thing upside down? What if God was not only dead, but the devil lived? A Jewish atheist, Levine nonetheless wrote with mounting revelations. He was sort of taking notes, he said, of his wife's progress alongside Rosemary, but flatly refused to let her read the manuscript. His fears were both personal and professional. The book was blasphemy, perhaps, and Levine feared backlash, blacklisting from publishers, or much worse. Published 50 years ago this spring, Rosemary's Baby was instead immediately declared perfect, the best horror novel ever crafted, a modern-day masterpiece. Rave reviews ran in every paper. Truman Capote likened to Levine to Henry James. 4 million copies flew off the shelves. Levine, not unlike the greedy antagonist in one of his own success-obsessed works, was granted the wildest level of literary success that he might have ever hoped for. A year later, the success only continued with the movie, directed by Roman Polanski, a European amateur looking for his own big Hollywood break. More impeccable reviews, Roger Ebert wrote Polanski's outdoes Hitchcock. Liz Smith in Cosmopolitan called it sheer perfection. Variety praised just about how everyone involved. Polanski's had triumphed. A star, Mia Farrow, was outstanding. Composer Fritz Forsman score was top-notch, and production William Castle had crossed a artistic Rubicon. The first unlucky soul was Kamita. Details of the death are still scarce, but Polanski told it this way. In autumn of 1968, then 37-year-old Kamita was roughhousing at a party when he fell off of a rocky embankment and into a 4-month coma. The very same affliction Levine's witches used to kill Rosemary's suspicious friend in the book. Kamita never regained consciousness and died in Poland the following year. In April of 1969, producer William Castle, sick with worry from the hate mail he received constantly, was suddenly stricken with severe kidney stones. While delirious in the hospital, he hallucinated scenes from the film and was said to have yelled, "Rosemary, for God's sakes, drop the knife." Castle recovered just barely and never made it a Hollywood hit ever again. Then there's Polanski's fate. told and retold into legend, even by him. Polanski had relocated to California alongside his new girlfriend, actress Sharon Tate, who was fresh off of her first movie as a witch in The Eye of the Devil, just before filming began. She had been gunned hard for the lead role in Rosemary's Baby, but Paramount decided to cast Mia Farrow. Tate instead loitered around set, appearing uncredited, a ghost in the background of Rosemary's young people only party scene, some say becoming increasingly obsessed with the occult. Many years later, a friend quoted her in print as having saying, "The devil is beautiful. Most people think he's ugly, but he's not. He's beautiful and charming." Polanski last saw Tate, by then his wife and very pregnant, in July of 1966, noting in his autobiography a grotesque thought he had at the time, "You will never see her again," he wrote. Tate was brutally murdered on August 8th by the Manson family, as well as her unborn son, all while Rosemary's Baby was still lingering in theaters. So you remember Sharon Tate, right?
Yeah. Yeah, she was the one who was killed by the Manson group, huh?
Yeah, she wanted to be in the film, but she was an extra in Rosemary's Baby, the movie.
Okay.
Unable to make sense of the tragedy and captivated by the stories of the Manson family, the public took to Satan and curses as the only explanation. Internet fanatics say, like Guy Woodhouse, Polanski made his young wife a blood sacrifice for his still untouchable status in Hollywood and beyond. Others maintain Manson murders were a mere moment in a grand satanic conspiracy scored by the Beatles. The White Album was written largely at an Italian meditation with Mia Farrow in attendance. The song, titled Helter Skelter, albeit misspelled, was scrawled in blood at crime scenes. And a dozen years later, Lennon was assassinated across the streets from the Dakota, the gambled landmarks where Rosemary's Baby was filmed. But if Rosemary's Baby is actually cursed, how did Ira Levine dodge his fate? He didn't, of course. While Levine never fell from a cliff to his dramatic demise, he suffered a more fitting kind of poetic justice. His first marriage crumbled with the divorce finalized in 1968. Notoriously private, Levine never gave the details of the breakup, though the Stepford Wives, published 4 years later, maybe says it all. He never rode the Rosemary's Baby wave into Hollywood, perhaps a blessing in disguise, but he certainly got fame. He got the fame he sought. Catholics in particular bombarded him with ongoing criticism, as did the Catholic Church, which very publicly slapped a C rating, which means condemned, onto the film for its mockery of religious persons and practices. Levine didn't believe in witches or curses, he said over and over again, yet fear grew in him just as the same. On a 1980 episode of the Dick Cavett Show, appearing alongside a young Stephen King, Levine sits quiet, pensive, and insecure. "I don't recall being scared at all," he said of his childhood horror inspiration, "but now I'm terrified." By 1992, in a rare interview, Levine confessed to having mixed feelings about Rosemary's Baby, including religious guilt. His work had played a significant part in all of this popularization of the occult and a belief in witchcraft and Satanism, he acknowledged, while in the same breath dismissing all these people who hear the backyard messages in the song lyrics and stuff like that. Then, in a rare admission of regret, he said, I really feel a certain degree of guilt about having fostered that kind of irrationality. But his family is adamant that the regret wasn't in the book, it was in something else, said novelist Dave Morrell, who co-founded the international thriller writer organization and former University of Iowa professor of English, who wrote a new intro to Rosemary's Baby for its 50th birthday reissue. After a decade of endless copycats and spin-offs and a made-for-TV movie that made the book feel like a campy caricature. Yes, thank you. Levine grew seemingly disdainful of the defining work. He wrote less and less acclaim and rarely did interviews and stopped mingling among New York literary circles he once so desperately wanted to be a part of. If Levine ever really experienced or enjoyed his literary fame, he didn't say so. I never once heard him comment on his career or what had happened to it, said Morrell. I'm just intrigued that he had to have known he was successful, but I'm not sure if he really knew he was that successful. Instead, when Rosemary's Baby's last big anniversary rolled out, Levine phoned in poorly planned sequel, Son of Rosemary, which was widely panned and quickly forgotten. Yet it became a bestseller just the same, funding Levine's last decade until his death in 2007, becoming a sort of cruel, ongoing joke about the fleeting and arbitrary nature of success. Of course, I didn't send back any of the royalty checks, he deadpan, poking fun at himself as a sellout or a fraud. It was one of those jokes that's half true, and it's the last book he ever wrote. So, yeah.
So I'm gonna have to look. I'm gonna have to watch. I don't think I've ever seen Rosemary's Baby. I'm gonna have to watch that one.
It's creepy.
Is it?
It's a movie that just grows on you. Okay. I gotta tell you, not to get off topic, but there's a movie I just watched recently that's phenomenal. It's called The Prodigy.
I swear I've heard of it.
Came out in 2019. In the movie is actually the boy who plays in the movie is the boy who played Georgie in the movie It.
Okay.
The kid who gets his arm bit off.
Yeah.
Oh, dude, it's based on reincarnation.
Yeah.
So I'm just gonna give you the skinny real quick, and then go watch it because it's fucking amazing. So, this baby's born, right?
Yeah.
And the baby's born right at the same moment when a serial killer is being murdered.
Yeah.
So it's the whole reincarnation theory. Like the serial killer had this condition where he had one blue eye and one green eye, and the baby was born with one blue eye and one green eye. And then the movie starts to take a deep turn, and you realize that the boy has been reincarnated as the serial killer.
Good shit.
Wicked good fucking movie, dude.
The Prodigy? Okay.
Yeah. The Prodigy 2019, go see it. That's all I'm going to tell you because I don't want to ruin it. Yeah. You know what I mean? But such a fucking good movie, dude.
All right, we'll go check it out.
But yeah, man, that's it. I mean, what do you think? Cursed movies? Fucking, you believe in it?
Oh, I mean, there's definitely been movies that are cursed, yeah. And the fucking ones you're talking about here, The Omen, The Exorcist, and Rosemary's Baby, that's a lot of shit. That's a lot of stuff that happened.
There was another movie that that's really cursed, but I didn't want to get, because it's not really paranormal. It's called The Conqueror. Have you ever heard of that movie?
I don't think I have.
It's a movie where John Wayne plays Genghis Khan.
Okay.
And they filmed it. They filmed it in the northern desert of Utah.
Yeah.
But the filming location was 50 miles away from where. So they filmed it in 1958, and this was right at the height when we started getting atomic and nuclear bombs.
Yeah.
And they filmed it 50 miles away from government-owned property where they were dropping like thousands of bombs every year.
Yeah.
In this fucking desert.
Isn't this where John Wayne got cancer?
Dude, fucking of the 200 plus people that worked on that set, like 150 of them died of cancer.
Jesus
Some
Christ.
staggering, like 70% of the people who worked on that movie died of cancer.
Yeah, I don't think they really had any idea what the nuclear fallout was going to look like when they were doing that.
I mean, that's just a sad tragedy. That doesn't really have like an eerie paranormal spin to it.
Right, but still,
but it's still a cursed fucking movie.
Yeah. Yeah. All right, man. Yeah, that was a good one, and definitely coming up after, another Friday the 13th this year.
Another back to back, and then we got one in October, right?
Yeah, we got another one later in the year. I think it's October. I'm not really. I wouldn't quote me on that. But
what is 13 times 3?
39.
Okay, that's nothing. I was wondering if it was going to be like 66.
13 times 3 is 39, and 9 minus 3 is 6, and 6 3 times is 666. That means that's too much. I'm stretching. I'm pulling that yard.
That means we're all fucked.
All right, man. All right, guys. Thanks for listening. Have a good night. Yeah. And as always, get out there, find your spirits,
and stay away from Jason.
And watch out for cursed movies.
And cursed movies.
That's right. That's going to wrap up this episode of Tales, Trails, and Taverns. Thank you so much for listening and being part of this journey with us. If you enjoyed the show, the best way to support us is by leaving a rating and review wherever you listen to podcasts. It really helps more curious minds like yours find us. Don't forget, you can dive deeper into the stories we cover by checking out my book, Haunted New England, and by visiting the website at www.talestrailsandtaverns.com, all one word. You'll find bonus content, upcoming events, and even more strange and spooky history waiting for you there. Until next time, keep your lanterns lit, your boots ready for the trail, and maybe save a seat at the tavern. You never know who or what might join us.